Hi, my name is Casey Stewart, and I'm going to be taking a look at our case from a rights ethics perspective. But before we look at our case, let's take a look at what rights ethics means. So rights ethics is an ethical theory based on rights. The rights established by a society are protected and given the highest priority. Rights are considered to be ethically correct and valid since a large population endorses them. So the central tenet and the thing to remember about rights ethics is that it is wrong to violate other people's rights. Rights that people are born with are rights that are given to them that cannot be violated. So Amber did a great job of explaining our case, but just a quick review. It had a situation where a contractor for a fire sprinkler system designed a system and brought it to an engineer to get them to sign off on it. So the engineer is supposed to run the creation of it, either design it themselves or actually run the creation of the sprinkler system. However, that wasn't the case with this. Now he gets the designs and everything checks out, but he wasn't personally involved, which means the development of it wasn't technically to code. And so the question is, what is the engineer's responsibility according to rights ethics? In order to determine that, the first thing we have to determine is who the stakeholders are in this and what are their rights. A stakeholder just being somebody that is going to be affected by this system. So the first stakeholder and the most important stakeholder is going to be the general public. The general public are be the ones in the building that are going to be using it every day and that are going to depend on the system if there is a fire. So what are the general public's rights? Well, first of all, they have the right to life. They have the right to safety. And they also have the right to assume that the system is properly designed and that all the code guidelines were followed. So they have the right to not to have to worry about, is this going to work if there's a fire? Am I going to be okay? Is the suppression system going to activate in time? Is it going to put out the right amount of water? These are all things that the public has a right not to worry about because it should have been handled before they ever walked into that building. Another stakeholder is the engineer themselves. They have the right to choose to approve or reject the contractor's plans, and they also have the right to protect themselves against possible negative consequences, because if they sign off on it and for some reason it doesn't go off, they're going to be the ones that are going to be culpable and responsible for whatever damage is caused. And then the final stakeholder is the contractor. They are the ones that were hired to do the job. They're the ones that are getting paid to do the job. So they have the right to choose which engineer they want to use, and they also have the right to appeal the engineer's decision if they don't agree with it. So we've identified the stakeholders in this situation. Now we need to identify whose rights takes priority over other people's rights. Well, looking at the situation, an engineer's first fundamental canon is to hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. So it's pretty obvious that the safety of the public is going to be the most important right and is going to trump all the other rights in this situation. Given this information, what conclusion does rights ethics lead us to? Well, in this case, since the code requires all designs to be completed by or completed under the direct supervision of a licensed engineer, the engineer cannot sign off on these plans. It's the responsibility of the engineer to ensure that all code requirements have been met. This protects the engineer from liability, but most important, it protects the public in the event that there's a fire. So it's pretty clear what the solution is in this case. It cannot be signed off on until an engineer is involved with the design of it. Thank you.